All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Sufijan here, and today we're going to be talking about what is CBD. You know, a lot of you have probably heard of this stuff, but don't exactly know what it is. So this will be your introduction. So to start off with, the biggest, confusion out there is the difference between, CBD versus THC. So what most people are familiar with is a high THC plant that comes from the same plant that a high CBD plant would be. THC is the part of the plant that gets you high. It's the only part of the plant that gets you high. The plant has hundreds of different elements and cannabinoids and chemicals and flavor components in it. THC is the only one that gets you high. So most of the plants out there have been bred specifically to have high THC because that's what had the most value. Now that more research has been done on CBD, which is simply another one of the top most researched cannabinoids, now there is genetics and specific strains which have been bred to be higher in CBD. And so that's what our product is going to be high in. Now, again, I mentioned the cannabinoids. There are a variety of different cannabinoids, some that you might have heard of, such as CBN or CBG or CBC are some of the ones that we're starting to learn a little bit more about. But the plant has over 100 different cannabinoids that have been named, probably ones that haven't even been named yet. And as of today, there's been relatively little research done on all of these other cannabinoids, just because through the laws here in our country, because this plant has been so much associated with the illegal THC version, as we're transitioning and more states are passing their hemp laws and medical THC laws, there's going to be more and more research coming out about all of these different cannabinoids. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, well, what is the importance of this stuff and why should I care about it? So what's most interesting to me is that the body actually has these cannabinoid receptors throughout the body. So as you can see here, there are a variety of different receptors, CB1, CB2, TRVP1, and these receptors are located in every area of the body. As you can see on this graph, they're in our nerves, our organs, our immune systems, our stomach, our ovaries, our lungs, and they're basically different areas that I think of it like a puzzle piece. And if you remember back to your chemistry classes and how those molecules would then come and connect up, and the one thing had the exact thing that the other piece was looking for, so when they come into contact, they kind of interact and lock together and support one another in becoming something new within the body. So that's what the endocannabinoid system is. We have an entire human cannabinoid receptor system in the body that's specifically designed to be the opposite puzzle piece to these cannabinoids that come in through the elements of this plant. Benefits aspect of things, there's a lot of research coming out on this stuff. We definitely recommend that you get online and start doing research and seeing what you can learn. There's a lot of videos out there obviously that specifically talk about that. But the other thing to think about is, where did we get this stuff initially? And what they found is that we used to get a lot of our cannabinoids into our system from the milks and the meats of animals that grazed on these wild plants. So throughout history and throughout time, this was a weed, right? So it was something that animals would freely consume, and then those cannabinoids would then come out through their products, and that's something that's been in the human diet for thousands of years. But in modern time, because that quote-unquote weed has been predominantly eradicated, and a lot of the food products that we're eating don't come from natural, free roaming animals and things of that nature, and even our vegetation, and we just have gotten away from eating wild herbs ourselves as people, or consuming products from animals that ate wild herbs. Everything's been much more domesticated, and according to some, these cannabinoids have been reduced in our system over the years, but we still have those receptors, and those receptors, again, they're hungry for those cannabinoids because that's what plugs in and allows them to do what they do best. So again, there's a bunch of different cannabinoids out there, and the importance of this, I think, is when you're looking at the difference between an isolate product and a full spectrum product. An isolate product is going to have only CBD, and you get a bottle that's got 1,000 milligrams of CBD and it has nothing else. When you get a full spectrum product, such as the one that Dao Zen sells, you're going to get 1,000 milligrams of CBD, and you're also going to get 500 milligrams of other cannabinoids, the flavonoids, the terpenes, the vitamins, the minerals, everything that goes into helping the body recognize what it is that's coming in. And there's an entourage effect that comes when you have all of those elements working together in harmony. Obviously, there's going to be a tiny bit of THC in our product, never enough to get you high. You'd have to drink several bottles of the stuff to even start to feel an effect. But then there's these minor cannabinoids in our product as well, the CBG, CBN, CBC, and those hundreds of other cannabinoids out there as well, as the things that give it the aroma and the tastes and the flavor. And that's why we don't sell an isolate product. We stick with our full spectrum because we feel that that's, it's going to give you the best bang for your buck, and we're actually putting 50% more oil into our product than any isolate product that you could see out there. And to me, the interesting thing here is those terpenes. There are hundreds of different terpenes in this hemp plant. Some of them listed out here, and these are, again, things that we're just starting to learn about. We're starting to understand what each individual one does. But again, these are the things that are going to give it those smells, those flavors, and all that subtle nuance. And the way that we grow our plant using, high quality soils and those beyond organic growing techniques, all of that is designed to increase these medicinal components and increase the entourage effect, because we want to give you the best product that we can, and the best product comes from the best soil and the best grown plant. You can have the best extraction possible, but if the plant that you're starting with doesn't have all this stuff in it to begin with, there's no way the end product is going to have. So to me, the most important thing that you're starting with is your seed and your soil and how that plant is treated from start to finish. And guys, we're just at the beginning here. If you're thinking about the future of this industry, there's hundreds of cannabinoids in this plant. We're going to start to learn more and more about them as the regulations on studying this material starts to loosen up. And I think eventually we'll be able to have various different extracts and products that are more specifically designed for specific symptoms. Maybe there's a high CBC product that treats one thing. We've got 100 cannabinoids, so essentially in the future we can have 100 different strains of the plant, each one that targets a specific cannabinoid receptors and a specific response in the body. So it's pretty exciting times, and we are thrilled to be a part of it. So that's our What is CBD introduction here. If you have any questions, give us a call or send us an email at support@daozencbd.com. And we will see you tomorrow on our next video, where we talk about the different aspects of the industry, the lab tests, and how to understand what it is that you're getting into your product. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.